Howdy, I'm Sam Day, and the happening people at my table tonight are Linda on the recruitment industry, Heiko, building design and architecture, and Baden from the Gay and Lesbian Counselling Service. I hope you can join me. Hi, welcome to my table. I'm Sam Day. Joining me tonight is Heiko, Linda, and Baden. Welcome, guys. Glad you could come along tonight to my table. Linda, I'll start with you. You're a specialist in recruitment. What is your job? What do you do in recruitment?
I look after recruitment for a very large organisation, global organisation with about 100,000 plus employees.
And so what would a day in the life of Linda Johnston be?
Very varied.
Very varied. What would be some of those variances?
It would be everything from interviewing people to visiting clients, to meeting external people who recruit for us, through to managing a team of people who recruit and dealing with them, and then selling the firm and thinking of marketing ideas and doing a lot of PR.
I was doing a university course about 10 years ago, and I remember hearing at that point in time that in the United States approximately 30% of CVs are actually inaccurate. In that people will scale up what it is that they've got. So if it's a diploma, then it's a degree. If it's a degree, then it's a master's, whatever it is. What's your experience been of the validity or reliability of the CVs that you get through?
It's quite interesting, that point, because at the moment, because the job market's not so buoyant, people are scaling them down. So people who have kind of been kicked out of roles where they're earning, well, not kicked out of roles is an unfair thing to say, but made redundant from roles where they're earning lots of money and know that there are less obviously opportunities at the top of the pile, sort of scaling their CVs down to try sort of middle management type positions. But in terms of my experience, I mean, lots and lots of people do it. I've had somebody who inflated their salary by about, it was 3 times what he said he was earning. But that is why you reference check. When you have to reference check people.
Right.
Yeah.
And so when you reference check, can you actually ask how much money did this person?
Well, it depends because of privacy laws now. People are quite reluctant to give specific detail, but you can verify their employment, you can verify the nature of their role, you can verify in the capacity at which they're employed, so you can more or less get a benchmark. So this individual I was talking about had basically worked at an administration level, but he kind of said he was a senior manager.
Right.
And everyone believed him. He'd done it really well.
So your reference checking is critical?
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Heiko, what about you? Your last interview, can you remember that?
Well, my last interview is actually the one that I had that got the job that I'm working on, and I've been working there for ages. But the ones before that were just terrible. And it's weird, I kind of go in and think, well, I've just got to be myself, because that way, if it works out, it works out, and it's about, there should be a degree of what I do and what they do correlate, which means you stay there for a while. So that kind of worked. But before then, it took forever. And I had this one question, which was, if you were any animal, what would you be? And I just thought, well, I got so annoyed by that question, I just said, I'd be a carrot.
A carrot? Because it's a stupid question. Did you get that job?
No, I'm afraid not. I guess that's a behavioural attitude as well. Yes, it worked.
A carrot with a bit of fur and a little head on top. And so what kind of work are you doing?
I essentially design green buildings. That's why I kind of put my green jacket along today.
Ah, very nice.
Thought I'd be in a theme. And essentially it's to try and make more sustainable design,
right?
In an engineering sense. So.
I guess is a green building the opposite to a sick building that we've kind of heard about? Is that how it works? Or?
Yeah, in a way. And the buildings that we design is essentially buildings that are, they take up about 30% of our natural resource in general in the world. So that's quite a significant impact.
So are you saying of all the buildings that are in our cities, they take up about 30% of our resources?
Yeah, that's the kind of average. It can be slightly less in some places. It's quite substantial. And so because of that, if we can make them better, right, so if we can naturally ventilate them like everyone's house, which we're very comfortable in, we quite kind of like, why aren't our commercial buildings, in a sense, exactly like that?
Baden, you're with the Gay and Lesbian Counselling Service. The first time I ever heard about the Gay and Lesbian Counselling Service was, in fact, Linda and I and Heiko and a group of people all went to watch the annual Mardi Gras, Sydney Gay and Lesbian Mardi Gras. And I saw a whole bunch of people walking down the street with telephones on poles, and I thought, what's that all about? So I'm just wondering, what is the Gay and Lesbian Counselling Service, and what do you do there?
Basically, it's the same as Lifeline. It's the same telephone counselling system, but it's specifically targeting people who are having difficulties with their sexuality or relationship issues that are surrounding their sexual identities as well. It's interesting that you talk about the Mardi Gras because it is one of our biggest selling points for our service.
Right.
It reaches a lot of rural people who don't have access to any other gay and lesbian services besides our own.
So if it's the same as, say, Lifeline, why does society, I guess, need to have a separate service specifically for gays and lesbians?
I've been asked that question many a time by heterosexual people or people who kind of ask me why can't they just ring Lifeline? I'm a bit of a confrontationalist, so I'll ask them, well, why are you stopping me for having a service for gay people? What's your problem with us having a service specifically targeting gay, lesbian, bisexual or transgender people? But in a compassionate sense, I guess it would be the empathy. It's the whole, I know where you're coming from. I've travelled that path.
So what do you do there?
I'm a trained counsellor.
Yep.
I'm also on the board of directors. So I'm part of the management process of the organisation, if you like. Without getting too boring, we're a company limited by guarantee, so we operate under corporations law just like any other company in Australia. So we have to have a board of directors. My role, though, that I really cherish is the counselling, sitting on the phone, talking to people, helping them travel their path and letting them get to where they want to be.
That's what you're passionate about?
Oh, definitely.
I work in a sushi restaurant.
Yeah, I manage a retail store.
I look after the car park for the Bowlers Club of New South Wales.
For a solicitor.
News agents, selling the paper.
Hospitality.